Hi guys, it's I, Jake Spy, and welcome back to another video. So I figured I would film this video because, well, I quite frankly want to use one of the characters from this show on one of my future tributes. So let's do my retrospective on Power Rangers RPM. So by the way, there's a lot of snow on the table, and I currently don't have gloves to like get it off, so yeah. So that's a problem. But regardless, yeah. This was actually a pretty good show. Um so let me pause this real quick. Alright, so I actually really liked this show. I actually really liked this season of Power Rangers. It's actually a pretty goddamn good season of Power Rangers. So there's that. So here's some things I like about it. Okay. Before we get into the positives, let's get into the very few negatives of the show, for me. The negatives is, well, it starts off with, like, the thing that pretty much every season has in common for me in terms of what's usually the weakest point of Power Rangers. The comedy. I'm sorry, but, like, weird thing is, when it comes to being comedic, there's nothing wrong with it, right? Sometimes it can be funny. But in the case of Power Rangers, most of the time, the jokes aren't funny. They don't land, for me, in particular. But then again, this is a show for, like, fucking 6-year-olds for the most part. So, there's that. And I think the only other problem I have with it, even if this one's a little bit more minor compared to the fucking comedy, and that is the suits. The suits suck. I know it's kind of a blame Sentai thing, but, like, yeah. I feel like they were just like, you know what? Despite these suits being complete and total ass, let's try to make a good season out of this. That's pretty much what they did there. Because let's be honest here, I feel like that's something only Disney Power Rangers can do. Where it's just like, yes, you have really shitty suits. Let's try to make whatever type of season we can out of this, you know? Because really, these suits have potential to be cool. It's just, they look shit from a. Like, okay, they're cool in action scenes, but they're not cool in just pictures, if you know what I mean. Trust me, some other seasons do have that problem, too. And honestly, same with, like, a lot of different things, like Mortal Kombat and Ninja Turtles is, like, when you see the designs online, it's just like, oh, they look like shit. Then when you see them in action, it's like, oh, okay, that's actually kind of cool. I mean, for example, you have stuff like Smoke for Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. Like, that's just to name one of, like, many examples of that. So, there you go. There we go. It's the best I can really do for this video. And, yeah, I think that's, and then the other thing that kind of ruffles my feathers a little bit, ruffles the ridges, is, Gemma, Ziggy, and Dr. K. I find all of them pretty fucking annoying. But okay, with Ziggy, it's more of a thing where it's just like, why do you need a goddamn comedic character when, like, 90% of Power Ranger seasons have that already? Couldn't you just have one season where it's just like, yeah, we're gonna add a bunch of serious characters? I feel like it would have made sense with RPM because it's the only fucking season that's set in an apocalypse. You would think that the apocalypse season would at least have, mostly all serious characters except for the one. No, these 4 are all of the comedic ones. And by the way, don't ask why my nails are painted. My fucking niece wanted me to paint them yesterday. Anyways, so Yeah, that's a little bit weird. I'll say that this show is fucking great. Here's the things I like about it, which is pretty much everything else. First of all, in terms of characters, all of them are really fucking good. Like, because you know how I said I dislike Ziggy, Dr. K, um, and then Gemma Gemma? With all of them, it was more of just like for different reasons. But the weird thing is none of them are really that bad. Like, they're still okay. I could tolerate them, right? But for me, I feel like out of the four, the one I have the most problems with is Dr. K. Here's the reason. First of all, she's annoying. I'm sorry, but like, she is fucking annoying. Like, sorry. But yeah, she is really annoying in my opinion, particularly like once they got to that part where it was the it's not spandex thing, that's when I was about to tap out of the show, but I decided to keep watching because I want to watch at least one Power Ranger season fully without skipping. With the exception of one episode, which is the 24th episode, because it's just a behind the scenes episode. So there's that. Um, Another thing I really did like was the villains. Some of them were a little bit cheesy, but I don't know what you really expect. Again, it's Power Rangers. I don't know what you expect from that. But if I had to pick one villain I really liked from this season of Power Rangers, it would easily be Tanaya. It would easily be Tanaya. She is by far the most interesting out of them. Which I know they pretty much copied in space when it comes to the whole brother-sister thing with Tanaya and Dylan. But, like, I don't really care. Because I feel like that was still one of the stronger, like, stories in RPM. And just one of the stronger stories in Power Rangers in general for me. Also, I just prefer RPM over in space, so... And yeah, now I can officially confirm that RPM is now a top 5 favorite season of Power Rangers for me. I'm not sure if it's like above Dino Thunder, SPD, or Mystic Force, but it's probably going to be above Super Mega Force now for me. Even though Super Mega Force was the first season I sat through all the way, RPM is just a better setup season. Not only do they set up the characters better, but also there's just better things going for it. If I had to pick what my favorite episode is, that's difficult for me. I'd probably say, oh yeah, and as soon as they got to the, I'm Scottish part of it, yep, that was definitely fun for me. Because I actually really like that meme. I don't know why. It's just so. I think it's because it's super stupid, but it's kind of lovable. Um, but yeah, and a lot of the characters I thought were like meh before, I actually really like now. Like, I don't think there's a single character I can actually say I dislike. Um, okay, there's some I might dislike, but hate. Not only is that a strong word, but also none of them really get to that level for me. Closest thing is maybe Dr. K, but that's just because she's incredibly fucking annoying, in my opinion. But still, then you get to Gem and Gemma. Gem and Gemma, I feel like are very hit or miss in terms of the show because they're all right, but they're also really annoying when they want to be. So there's that. Um, let's see. Venjix as a villain is fucking cool. I don't need to explain that any further. Um, let's see. Scott, he's alright. Like, he grew on me throughout the show. Like, this is one of those few instances where it's just, like, actually watching the show is better than not watching it. Because it's just like, most of the characters mostly like, are mid in your opinion just because you go by looks. And that's exactly what I did with fucking Summer in particular, because she looked like a bland ass character in my opinion, but she grew on me after I watched the show. Um so there's that. Yes, it is that fucking cold out here. So yeah. And as for that Colonel dude, the guy who played Scott's father here, he was actually kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah. Let's see. But now we get to what I think is the best part of this entire show. Just number one for me. And that is Dylan. He is such a cool fucking character, in my opinion. Not only do I like the suit the most, because it's the only suit that honestly doesn't suck. I mean, his and Scott's are the only two where it's just like, okay, they're fine. But everyone else has ranged from, okay, this is fine, to, oh my god, this looks like shit. Particularly the Blue Ranger's one. The Blue Ranger suit looks so bad. Okay, the suits themselves look fine. It's the helmets that are usually the problem with this season. 'Cause, yeah. The theme song is alright. I mean, I have no thoughts on it. I just don't like the intro to it. Because, like, okay, here's what I meant by that. Here's what I mean by that. The reason why I don't like the... So, with the intro to it, it's the fucking... Vengeance is attacking type of thing, or whatever the fuck. That thing annoys me. I'm sorry, but, like, it doesn't need to be in every single fucking episode. We know the synopsis, because we've seen enough of the damn season to know what the synopsis is. The summary, if you will. So, there's that. But yeah, Dylan, really cool character, and I'm glad he's introduced in the second episode, which you don't typically see with characters like him. So there's that. Because the coolest ones are always the ones introduced last, the more I think about it. So, yeah, and by the way, if you're wondering which character I played to do a tribute for on this from this show, it's Dylan. Because, I mean, that was fucking obvious. So there's that. And I think this time around I won't have to wait for Legacy Wars to put them in, because I don't really want to. So there you go. Peace.